What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. I am updating 3 of my deck lists that were prior uploads on this channel for Worlds format lists. I'm going to be showing you guys my updated lists for Blacephalon GX, Malamar with spell tags, and Green's Reshi. So starting with Blounds, I don't think there's too many changes, but when I originally shared this list to YouTube, I was not very confident in Blacephalon. I thought it looked like pretty weak on paper, but it's actually been testing really well. Yo, Ty, what's good, brother? It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. How's Worlds testing going? If you're testing and not playing TFT like everyone else. So yeah, we'll just go over these lists rather quickly since these are just updates that I've covered the lists of before, but we'll be looking at the new changes. So for Blacephalon, 3/3 Nag, 1/1 Persian, a Ditto. The 9 Tails is new with 9 Temptations. Once during your turn, you may discard 2 fire energy cards from your hand. If you do, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with the active. So we can only evolve this from Ditto. We don't always need it, but it's nice to bring something up to kill specifically. It's also possible to put like 3 custom catchers maybe. I don't think you could fit 4, so just 3 for one time gust and just search it out with Persian GX. If you want to cut that into other cards, that could probably work. Chilling at college, haven't even touched cards in a month. Gas, bro. It's fine. You just get a broken list 2 days before, you'll be good to go. No one knows what they're doing yet anyway. That's why we're here updating lists. So that's the Pokemon line. I am intrigued by the Green's Reshi Blound that has been created by Peter Kika, and I'm going to try that for myself, but I haven't tried it yet. I really like Persian GX. Not a huge fan of Ninetales. I would rather have custom catchers, but finding the spots in the deck is what the issue is. So on to the supporters. We've got 4 Lily, 4 Acrobike, 4 B-String. So that's all the 4 ofs. I still like Lily in this deck since we're using Mysterious Treasure. You can empty your hand. We're using Mysterious Treasure, Acrobike. We have stadiums to play down, a bunch of Pokemon to get down, evolutions to search for. I do think Lily's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's better than a 4th Welder, though, which we are just playing 3 of at the moment. We could also probably play 3 B-String since we're playing Persian GX and it searches out our B-String, but the deck's been popping off when it hits like 2 or 3 B-String in a turn. It's been pretty insane. So 3 Welder, 3 Mysterious Treasure, and I'm going to put all the Pokemon Search here as well, even though they're not all 3 ofs. So we've got 6 Pokemon Search combined out of the 3 Treasure, 3 Pokecom, 1 Cherish Ball. I don't think that's changed since the original video. And 3 Welder. For the 2 ofs, we got 2 Cynthia and 2 Reset Stamp. Reset Stamp's really good, especially when you can search it out with something like Persian GX. And then we got 1 Ultra Space, 1 Heat Factory, and 1 Switch. The Switch is for things like the Mirror or Alolan Raichu, or if they just got something up to stall for a turn, things like that. The Switch could be cut, but there's definitely been times where it's really good to have the Switch. Like Alolan Raichu paralyzes you to stall for a turn, and then when the next turn is something like that, and you could just switch, retreat with Nag, switch back in. So I think if you wanted to try the 3 custom catcher idea, probably cut the Switch, the 9 Tails, and maybe the 4th B-String, throw in 3 custom catchers, see if that works for you, which is something I'll be trying this weekend. So that is my updated Blounds list, and I hold it much higher in regards to Worlds format than I did when I originally uploaded the Blounds deck profile. It's actually really good. Oh, energy. Energy stayed the same. 15 fire, 1 beast energy. Alright, the second deck I'm updating here is Malamar. So I originally showed you guys a single prize variant or single price focused variant. This one is a little more heavy on the GXs, but I also have some updated ideas about single prize Mali, which I do not have built right now. I just have one Malamar variant here today for you guys. The 4/4 Malamar with no Ditto, because I'm trying to make room for other things to try out, but as other things become more clear if they're good or not, I could see myself taking something out for a Ditto. I just really want to test as much as I can in here while keeping the deck fairly consistent. So those are the two elves. We got the 4/4 Malamar, then the 2 Jirachi, the 2 Tina Chomp, and the 2 Tina. Hey, Alec, what's good, brother? So 2 Jirachi, I don't think you need more than 2, and I think 1 could even be fine as long as you don't prize it, obviously. You just need it to guarantee your early setup, because you just need to set up with this deck and then you're good to go, as long as you thin correctly and you don't get unlucky with that. Some people think you need 3 or 4, some people don't like it at all. I originally had no Jirachi in my single prize Tina tags that I shared on YouTube a few weeks ago. But I'm trying to in here. I think it's been working really, really well. This is currently my favorite deck I have built. Like, if I had to go to Worlds right now, I would just take this. The Tina Chomp is also a new addition because I wanted to be able to OHKO a Reshi. So if Reshi swings into something with a tag on it, you bring up Calamitous Slash and knock it out. In my other deck, I was using Mimikyu for that. They swing into something with a tag with Flare Strike, you knock it out. Now it doesn't have to be Flare Strike. You can just use Calamitous Slash, knock it out. And then sometimes they don't knock it back out with their GX attack. Most of the time they don't knock it back out with their GX attack, and you have a threat still pending on the board. Then we got the 2 Tina with Distortion Door, Shadow Impact, you know this guy. Then we got the Deoxys Espeon, Espeoxys for its Cross Division GX. Put 10 damage counters however you like. If you have 6 energy, put 20. It's your big finisher. It's really good. Mew for the Pika Rom matchup. And those are all the Pokemon. Try not to spend too much time on these since I am just updating the lists. Then we got, let's see. For the 4 elves, we got 4 Treasure. Autofocus, please. 4 Acrobike. 4 Spell Tag. 4 Lily. 4 Cynthia. 4 Pokemon Communication. The engine's still pretty similar, except we lost Ultra Ball and the 1 or 2 or 3 Nest Balls. But we got Pokecom now, we're making do with that. I think maybe you could go down to 3 spell tags if there was something else you wanted in this list, since this list is a little less focused on the single price stuff, and spell tags don't work on Tina Chomp. But you do need the spell tags to help you out with getting the OHKOs with, or the pseudo OHKOs, I guess, with Tina Chomp, because you need them to hit something earlier. But everything else here is pretty self-explanatory. And we've got 3 switches, 2 Pokegear, 2 Escape Board, 2 Viridian Forest, and a Reset Stamp. Couldn't fit 2 Reset Stamps in here, and the deck does get really thin in the end game. So I just threw 1 in, and it works sometimes. Other times I wish I would hit it, and I don't. But it does work when you see it in the end game, so it's really nice to have. A second one might be good, but I don't also necessarily think you need to play every game when you're playing Malamar. And then for energy, we've got 7 Psychic and 3 Fighting, which I'm not too hyped about needing other kinds of energy in this deck other than Psychic, but it is what it is because we're using the Tina Chomp Tag Team GX. So that is Spell Tag Malamar with Tina Chomp. And on to the last update, we got Reshi. I recently updated this in a Flipside Gaming article, but I believe I might have changed a couple things since then. So we got the 4 Vulcan, the 2 Reshi. So people like 3 Reshi, and I understand if you prize a Reshi, it's bad. If you prize a Reshi, it's bad in some matchups, and then you're fine in other matchups. So if you think about it like that, the odds of prizing one of your Reshis is 1 out of 5 to 10 games. It's not super high, but it's reasonable that you're going to prize one of these. 1 a.m. when I'm recording this, so I honestly forget the percentages off of my head. But you're playing 2. If you prize 1, some matchups it doesn't matter because you need to go in with Volks early anyway. In other matchups it can matter because you need to set up 2 of these and return the knockout on the first one with the second one. Other times you don't prize any and you're fine. But the reason is playing 2 of these in 4 Volk gives you a 73% chance at starting Volk. Playing 3 of these and playing 4 Volk gives you a 65% chance of starting Volk. So it lowers 8%. It also gives you an extra deck slot, and you have an 8% better chance of starting with Volcanion, which is very important for this deck. So then I'll just show the energy too, so we can get into the good stuff. 12 fire energy. You can go down to 11. Did you miss Dark Box? No, you didn't. I can actually show Dark Box for the stream after I'm done with this one. I'm just recording these 3 for the video. I didn't change too much to Dark Box, but we can talk about it. So we'll start with the 4 ofs, of course. We got the 4 greens. It is Green Zard. We got 4 Pokegear, 4 Mixed Herbs, 4 Welder, 4 Custom Catcher. Okay, and that's all the 4 ofs. None of this has changed, I don't believe, and neither should it. Then we got 3 Switch and 3 Pokemon Fan Club. I dropped the 4th Switch. I imagine I'll remember what I dropped it for as we get further into the list. I don't think you need 4, but it was just a nice consistency thing to have in addition to the fan clubs, since if you start Reshi, you can hopefully like Pokegear into fan club or raw fan club and then switch into Volk and then get yourself going with Flare Starter. But the switches are also really good versus Bursting Burn and Alone Raichu and just preventing your attackers. Next in the 2 ofs, we've got Choice Helmet, 2 Cherish Balls, 2 Reset Stamps, 2 Fire Crystals, and 2 Fiery Flints. Nothing here changes, I don't think. I'm not positive if we had Choice Helmets in for the last YouTube deck profile for Green's Reshi, but I like the Choice Helmets. I'm not like in love with them in the deck, but they are nice to have sometimes. Like against Mewtwo, when they're trying to hit you with those wall attacks, they become really, really weak when you have a Choice Helmet on. But the Choice Helmets, maybe you could cut 1 or even both of them if they're things that you really want in the list that aren't already here. We also got 2 Great Potions and 2 Power Plants. The Power Plants are pretty key versus Mewtwo box and also Darkrai Umbreon. And then we have Lysander Labs and Heat Factory. Lysander Labs is really good against Tina spell tags. It could help versus Shedinja, but 1 Lysander Labs really does nothing versus them. So I feel like that's kind of a moot point to mention. And that is the 3 archetypes that I have updated for you guys. We went over Blound's Malamar with Tina Chomp and Green's Reshi, which I do think are 3 of the top decks. Not necessarily the 3 top decks. I would say Malamar is definitely in the top 3, and the rest are kind of up in the air between like Green's Reshi and Pikarom, Blound's Dark Box, Mewtwo variants. There are a lot of good decks right now, so make sure you check out the other deck profiles I have on here, some other content I've been doing for Worlds format, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.